Welcome to a brand new episode of Johnson's Court. Today I am in Disney World, as much of you probably know that from the last episode if you watched it. So this is coming out to you on Thursday. Yesterday was my birthday on Wednesday, so went pretty hard, celebrated, had a great time. Actually bought myself my own birthday present, which was becoming an annual pass holder down here at Disney. So now what that means, if you don't know what it means, is Olivia and I can come down here whenever we would like, whenever we choose. Really, the only thing we pay for is a hotel and a flight. So there might be plenty of weekend trips here in the next year because we're like, hey, we have nothing going on and we're going. So who knows, we might go to a Jacksonville game. I don't know what's up, but be really awesome, really cool, something that we're getting ourselves into. We kind of thought about it on this trip, and then on our last last ticket day, I guess, we decided to, hey, we can do it. Let's do it. And Disney's going to be our vacation spot for the next year because we paid a good amount of money for it, and we want to get our use out of that if that's the route that we decide to go. And that's the route that we did decide to go. With that, I did buy this. Let me show you guys. This is called a Spirit jersey. Disney has a lot of those, but this was my favorite one by far, and I bought it. And so Spirit jersey sports, figured I'd wear that so you guys can all see that. Now this week I didn't get to watch any games. I did see the highlights on SportsCenter, and I don't have my notebook on me. That was one thing I forgot to pack, so I don't know what my picks were. I know I had Nick's pick, but I still don't know what his record was last week. So it is what it is. I will update that in the comment section, and then next week it'll be like 2 weeks worth of picks, and so we'll get back on track for everybody. But behind me, we've got Pluto sleeping, and on the other side, we've got Mickey. Last week was, like I said, pretty crazy. There were teams that won that I didn't like. The Patriots won, the Jets beat the Texans, the Ravens beat the Rams, the Saints won, the Colts lost. Let's see here. The Buccaneers took control of the division. The Browns won. The Bears beat the Lions, which the Lions want to secure that 4 seed or playoff spot as a divisional champion. They need to be winning these divisional games. 49ers won. The Vikings won 3-0 versus the Raiders, probably the lowest winning scoring game so far this season. Broncos beat the Chargers. The Bills beat the Chiefs. That was, controversy, things that we'll get into that a little bit later. The Cowboys, Dylan went down there and they got a dub for him, so congrats, Dylan. The Giants beat the Packers. So, yeah, because we had two Monday night games. And the Titans were able to come back and beat the Dolphins. So, a lot of upsets, a lot of things that last week was just not something that I thought was going to happen, but hey, it's football. It's every week, things happen. And before I get into this week's pick, it is week 15. A lot of teams in the AFC and the NFC are 7-6, 6-7, so they're hovering around that playoff in the hunt. What's going to happen over these next 4 weeks? Week 15 gets us started today, Thursday Night Football. Today, 15. It's Justin Herbert. Actually, it's not Justin Herbert. It's just the Chargers. Because Justin Herbert broke his index finger, I believe, had surgery on one of his fingers, and he is out more than likely for the next 2 weeks. Could be the rest of the season. I'm not sure. I have to go back and read the report. They are playing the Raiders. The Raiders are at home. This is just a coin flip kind of game. I don't even know. I've got my birthday pin here. So, happy birthday, Reilley, is heads. The back of his tails. Whatever happens. Or heads is Chargers, tails is Raiders. It's heads. So, I am going Chargers. So, my first pick is the Chargers. And that concludes Thursday Night Football. Probably not going to be a good Thursday Night Football game. The under's probably going to smack. Thursday night games just haven't been the best. I think we may have had 2 good Thursday night football games out of our whole schedule so far. But this week gets a little bit different because Christmas is next week. So this week and next week are when game times change a little bit. The days that they play on change a little bit. Our first game, not on Sunday, but on Saturday, is at 1 o'clock. And it is versus the Minnesota Vikings and the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals, they were able to beat the Colts last week. I kind of didn't. I'm pretty sure I picked the Colts for that one because the Bengals are just not playing too well. I don't know if their playoff hopes are still alive or not. They are 7. They're one of those teams that are 7-6. So are the Vikings are 7-6. This game, it is at the Bengals. I would love to go see this game. Maybe I do. No. Well, I couldn't make it, but I'm not going to go. Be pretty jet lagged, pretty tired when I come back. You know what? I didn't go with the Bengals last week. They proved me wrong. I'm going to go with the Bengals this week. Then at 4:30, this is at Lucas Oil Stadium. So who knows? Maybe I go to this game. Maybe I don't go to this game. Nick, are you going to this game? Dylan, Dan, who do I know in my contacts that is going to this game? Kraft, are you going? I want to know. Maybe I should go to this game because it should be a pretty good game, especially with the Steelers defense. That's who they're playing. They have a great defense. Mitchell Trubisky is playing. Like I said, I think he's a better quarterback than Kenny Pickett, so I think it's be a closer game. Let's see these records. They are both 7-6, so like I said, they're fighting for that playoff spot in the hunt. How long do you stay in the hunt before you're no longer in the hunt and you secure a playoff spot? We don't know yet. But this is at home for the Colts. I think they can bounce back, so I'm going to go Colts here. I know this is going to be probably a good game, ±3, in my opinion, unless one team just takes off from the other. We'll see what happens. But then at 8:15 on Saturday night, you've got the Denver Broncos coming in and playing the Detroit Lions. Now, this game is going to be really, really good, actually, because the Lions are not playing too well right now. Like I said, they need to secure those divisional games and games that aren't divisional games to get that divisional win and either become second, third, or fourth. Right now, the Lions are 9-4. They are looking for their 10th win of the season. The Broncos are 7-6. Not the record I thought that they would have this year, but they've surprised me a lot. They've beat teams that I didn't think they'd beat, and then they've lost to a couple teams, and I'm like, yeah, you probably should have lost to them. So the Broncos are not down. They're not out. They are 7-6. They have above 500 record. Both these teams have above 500 record. This should be a good game. I do think the Lions do get back on track. I do think the Lions, when they are at home, Jared Goff, sit there, stay ready in the pocket, and you should be good to go. You've got Jamar Gibbs and David Montgomery. You've got a decent defense. Let's see what you can do versus the Denver Broncos. So that concludes our Saturday games. So let me just see, out of the Saturday games, what game is our game of the day on Saturday? I would probably go the Colts and Steelers. I think that's going to be the game of the week. I think it's going to be a 24-21 game. I think it'll be a really good game. And then, like I said, that Saturday night game as well will be a good game if Jared Goff can stay in the pocket and be comfortable. We kick off 1 o'clock on Sunday with the New York Giants and the New Orleans Saints. Now, let me just start with the New York Giants. They have impressed me in ways this season that I thought, they're not going to make the playoffs. They're not going to be even close. But they've won their last 3 games with, I can't think of his name. It's like DeVito. He's Italian. I don't want to say his name is Danny, but something like that. They are 5-8, so they are improving, but they need to win out the rest of their games. If they lose that game, I don't think that they will be in the playoffs unless, drastic things happen. You see those online posts that are like, hey, if, everything goes right in this scenario, then the Giants are going to make it in. If everything goes right for the Saints, then they'll make it in. The Saints should win their division. That's the only logical thing that should happen for them. But who knows? They're 6-7, not playing the greatest, not playing the worst, though, because their whole division is like that. This is kind of a coin flip game for me personally. Can the Giants go on a 4-game win streak? Do the Saints put themselves in a place to win the division? I don't know. But I will tell you, I'm drinking the same Coca-Cola that the New York Giants are drinking, and they're going to get the win this week. which would improve them to 6-8. And then the Saints would be 6-8. So even more controversy there. Our next 1 o'clock game is the Chicago Bears playing the Cleveland Browns. The Browns have been racked up with injuries after injuries after injuries this season. The Bears can still get to number 1 pick as long as the Carolina Panthers finish with the worst record in the NFL. And I believe that is going to happen. Who knows? Do the Bears make the playoffs and still get the number 1 draft pick of the 2024 draft? That would just be a storyline in itself right here. But I don't honestly see that happening. They probably are going to get bounced out a little bit. Maybe they'll be that 8th team, right outside the playoffs. Who knows? It just depends on what everybody else does as well. And is it the Browns? Joe Flacco has been playing pretty well, actually. The Browns are 8-5. Wow. With the amount of injuries that they've had, I kind of didn't expect that. But they've still got a pretty good defense, even with trading away Myles Garrett. No, my bad. I'm thinking of Chase Young. Sorry. They still have Myles Garrett. Man, I see the Browns going 9-5. That's kind of crazy. And they can make the playoffs as well. I don't know if they're a first-round exit. We'll get into that maybe in a week or two from now. But I'm going to go Browns here over the Chicago Bears. Now, we've got a divisional matchup here. The Falcons versus the Panthers. The Falcons want to have a shot at potentially winning their division. They've got to beat the Panthers. Panthers, like I said, are 1-12. They have no shot in this world to win their division. The Falcons are 6-7. If they get a win, they're 7-7. That puts them in a little bit of a, like a head standing with the rest of their teams. They should get this win. It isn't home for the Panthers, but I don't see the Panthers getting this win. There are certain wins that, like, teams that are 1-12, 4-9, or whatever, that get a win, and I'm like, how in the heck did this win happen? Like, I didn't see it coming. I don't know how it happened. Like, did that other team just have that bad of a day? I don't think the Falcons have that bad of a day, because I do think that they do keep it close for the division, and I'm going to go the Falcons over the Panthers here. We've got a lot of 1 o'clock games. Our next one is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing the Green Bay Packers. They were able to beat the Chiefs 2 weeks ago, I believe, and did they lose the week after that? I think they did. They are 6-7. The Buccaneers are 6-7. These teams are both fighting for, Buccaneers do hold the division spot for them, so everyone matters for them to make sure that they have a big enough cushion, possibly. And then the Packers, they're fighting even maybe potentially for their division as well, depending on how the Lions do. So there's a lot of things that have to work its way out like a sneaky snake. But this would be a good game. It is at home. Last time I should have went to Packers when they were home versus the Chiefs, and I didn't, and I lost that. So let's get redemption here and go the Packers. And like I said, the NFC South is going to be a wild. That division is a wild card division. We'll see who comes out on top of it. But I'm going Packers for this game. Our next 1 o'clock game is the Jets versus the Dolphins. Now, right out of the gate, it's Dolphins, right? Tyreek Hill is the best receiver in the league right now. Could be going for 2,000 yards. Could be MVP. I know we always give it to a quarterback, kind of like a Heisman kind of situation, but Tyreek Hill deserves to be in that conversation as well. He was the best fantasy pickup draft pick this year. They're 9-4. The Jets are 5-8. If Aaron Rodgers thinks that he can still make the playoffs, the Jets have to just have a miracle next 2 weeks in order for him to come back and pick up where he left off on the first 3 plays of the season. Like I said, you know my opinion about Aaron Rodgers. I think he's a great guy. I watch him on Pat McAfee show, but I don't think that he should come back. If he comes back, he is not going to do very well. Like I said, it's offensive line. It's a whole lot of rooted problems. Don't rush yourself back. I know you're doing things that define science and things like that, but just stop. We're going to Miami Dolphins. And actually, I've seen a lot of Miami Dolphin fans here in Florida, obviously. But second to that, I've seen a lot of Philadelphia Eagle fans, and I've seen a lot of Dallas Cowboy fans. And then third, I would say 49er fans, which are kind of crazy. Like, I get the Dolphins fans, 49ers fans, I guess, and then the Eagles, which are coming from Philadelphia, and the Cowboys. So, I don't know, but, really good teams on the top of NFC right now, so I get it. I have seen 2 Indiana Pacers. I saw a Reggie Miller jersey, and then I saw an Indiana Pacers shirt. So we've got some Indiana blood flowing through here in Florida. May not be a culture, but still some Indiana pride. Next, at 1 o'clock, you've got the Kansas City Chiefs playing the Patriots. Was a report that came out saying that the Patriots are going to part with Bill Belichick after this season. So does Bill coast? Does he care anymore? Those are 2 big questions to see how the Patriots finish out this season. Or do the Chiefs continue to destruct and just fall apart? They do need to pick it back up. Their wide receiver play is probably the most controversial thing that's been happening all season long. Catch the ball. It's not, oh, hey, I caught the ball and I'm still running. It's, I caught the ball, then I'm running. All receivers know that. All football players know that. We get inside our heads. Sometimes, we're wide open and we're going to score and, we accidentally drop the ball. You got to execute the fundamentals first in order to win football games. That's why the Chiefs are 8-5. They're not fundamentally winning the game. They lost the game on an offensive side call. Yes, Patrick Mahomes was really mad. He was really upset. I get it. You're a competitor of the game. He wants to be able to go out there, and he doesn't want the refs to define who wins or loses the game. Nobody wants it to happen. And I mean nobody. So to see Patrick Mahomes get that upset, it just means he's a competitor of the game. He got maybe a little bit too heated, but, I think that we've all been there. And sometimes we just have to recollect ourselves and be like, hey, we screwed up. Like, we beat ourselves. Like, that's what my coach would tell me when I played is there is no worse way to lose the game than to beat yourself. You want to give yourself a shot. And that's exactly what Patrick Mahomes won. They basically won the game. And then that offensive called them back. And there they were. So, yes, they're 8-5. The Chiefs should get this one over the Patriots. Like, this is one of these matchups where it's like, oh, it's the Chiefs for sure. But then what if the Patriots do win? And it's like, what the hell? Like, how did that happen? I have so many questions if the Chiefs lose this game. But like I said, I don't see that happening. I do see the Chiefs winning this game. I don't believe that they'll be the number 1 seed. I think that's going to be the Ravens or the Dolphins. It's going to be a different team putting themselves in that position. Unless, like I said, it's football. You never know. Injuries and things happen. But as of right now, don't see the Chiefs being don't see them being the number 1 seed. But I do have the Chiefs coming on top on this game. Our last 1 o'clock game is an AFC South showdown. It is between the Houston Texans and the Tennessee Titans. Now, I pause because if the Colts want to win this division, who do we need to win this game? That's the real question here. The Texans are 7-6. The Titans are 5-8. The Titans aren't a team that should be in potential. It should be the Colts or the Texans. The Texans have kind of fallen off a little bit. C.J. Stroud has not been the MVP caliber player that I thought he was when I said it about 3 weeks ago. He's more of winning Rookie of the Year, and that's now about it. Maybe the NFL watched my video and was like, you know what? I understand your point, but, let's get that point out of here. Let's just demolish that point. It's, not even a question. Not even a factor. But if you would have continued playing how he was playing, they could have a better record, and he could be still in that conversation, but he's no longer in that conversation. So, this is at home for the Tennessee Titans. They were able to get that win versus the Miami Dolphins on Monday Night Football, which was kind of crazy because they had a slight to no chance of winning that game, and then they scored 2 touchdowns to, come back and win the game, which was insane. But it's football. Anything can happen. The Texans are on the road here. Man, this is kind of a coin flip too. Like, I want to go more Texans here, but the Tennessee Titans, were able to get a little sneaky win there. You know what? Go ahead and give me the Houston Texans, because let's just get the Tennessee Titans out of the way. And whether the Texans win the AFC South or not, the Colts are still going to get in the playoffs. So out of the 1 o'clock games, our 1 o'clock game of the week, going to be the Buccaneers and Packers. I think that's going to be the closest game out of the 1 o'clock games. I could be wrong. It might be the Texans and Titans, but those look like the two best games of the 1 o'clock time slot. Then our 4:05 games of the week are the 49ers playing the Arizona Cardinals. 49ers should win this game pretty easily here. They are 10-3, make them 11-3. Cardinals are 3-10. Conway is going to try to have a game in the first half, and the 49ers defense are going to shut them down. Then at 4:05, you got the Commanders playing the Rams. Now, Sam Howell has been one of the best, I guess you should say, fantasy quarterbacks. Been doing pretty good, but over the last week or two, not been doing the best. The Rams are 6-7. In order for the Rams to be in a playoff spot or to continue to be in the hunt, they need to win this game, and I'm going to go the Rams. So a 4:05 game of the week, Commanders, Rams, obviously. Arizona Cardinals probably won't even make it close. 4:25 game is the Dallas Cowboys and the Buffalo Bills. And this is a great 4:25 game. You always got to have a good 4:25 game. And the Cowboys, Dak is, first, second in that MVP conversation. He's playing really well. But this, last 2 weeks, this week, and continuing, the Cowboys stretch of games do get harder. This whole 6-game skid, beating the Eagles last week, the way they were able to, really, at home, really showed, hey, you can try to come in our house, but it's not going to happen, Eagles. You are going to shoot away, get out of here. So this is a road game for the Cowboys. I think this is, I would say the Eagles game that they had home would be more of a test, but it was at home. So I paused and I said, this is more of a test because you're playing at the Bills. Yes, the Bills could have a better season. They are 7-6. They're trying to dig their way up out of the hole that they're in, which they could possibly do. The Cowboys are 10-3. The Bills are 7-6. This should be a good game. I normally pick the Bills because I do like the Bills. They're a pretty good team. But actually, I'm going to have to go Cowboys here. I think they continue to carry over that momentum in order to potentially secure that number one spot. I mean, if they get that number one seed, they get that bye, and then their first game is at home. That is huge for them. So I'm going Cowboys here, but I do think this is a 10-point game swing if the Cowboys win, or miraculously the Bills win. It'll be by 10. So we'll see what happens. But going Cowboys here for you, Dylan. 2 weeks in a row. I think that's maybe the most you can get out of me there. But then we've got Sunday Night Football at 8:20 p.m. We've got the Baltimore Ravens coming in and facing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Ravens are 10-3. They're the best in the AFC right now. The Jaguars are 8-5. Do the Jaguars, I even forget the Jaguars being in the AFC South. They could, win the division. But we'll see what happens there. But if they want to win the division, they got to win this game too. But I don't see that happening. Yes, I know it's in Jacksonville. It's just 2 hours up the road from us where we are now. Don't see it happening, though. I do see the Ravens winning this game. I like Lamar Jackson. I think he's going to win Comeback Player of the Year. The Ravens are just the best team, in my opinion, to win the Super Bowl right now. And we'll get into that a little bit later, maybe a week or two later when Nick is back on the podcast and we kind of give our predictions there, because that'll be fun. Because he'll probably go somebody else, and that'd be cool to debate back and forth. That's your 8:20 game. Carrie Underwood, she's going to get us ready for that game. Then at 8:15, you got the Philadelphia Eagles playing the Seattle Seahawks. I think that the Eagles do bounce back. They lost pretty heavily to the Dallas Cowboys. They are still 10-3. They are the 49ers are number one seed right now. And they have a bye. No, they don't have a bye week. Why am I talking? 49ers play the Cardinals, yeah. So they should extend that lead a little bit. Seahawks, it is at home, 12th man for them. They are 6-7. This will be a great game. The Eagles are on the road again, so it's a 2-game road skid for them. So this is going to be really hard. You don't want to lose back-to-back games. I think they turn it around, and they do get this win. I think they get this dub. But I think Seahawks definitely put up a fight. Geno Smith, when you don't write to him, he doesn't write back, and he's not going to write to you after this game either, whether he wins or loses, because he wants to move on, folks, to the next game, guys. But I'm going Eagles there, and that is my final pick for Week 15. I'm super excited to see what happens. The playoff hunt, the playoff race is really heating up. All these games are crucial and do matter for not only the number 1 seed, the divisional game, or even if you're in that 7th seed. We will see what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, and I'm signing off from Walt Disney World.